good morning, and welcome to day 2 of PriceFest 2021. My name is Dr. Marquise Carter, and I am in the beautiful Leah Smith Lecture Hall at University of Maryland at the Clarice Center for Performing Arts. And I thought I would come on here today for a brief commercial and announcement about one of our new initiatives that I'm really excited about that we plan to roll out in 2022. We're starting the planning process now. You'll notice that I have 2 guests on the screen with me. I'm joined this morning by Syed Wells and Rob Deemer of Institute for Composer Diversity. And I'm hopping on today to describe to you and express my excitement for our PricePledge initiative. This is a new initiative and partnership between PriceFest and Institute for Composer Diversity, along with some other educational partners, to really promote the work of increasing access to diverse works by composers from various backgrounds, a multi-level approach to changing the way we educate at the middle school and through higher ed levels. It is an initiative to fold in and also provide resources for educators to change the way that we canonize. And the way in which Institute of Composer Diversity has been doing this work partners very well with what PriceFest is doing. Now, before I ramble, let me read. It's early. I'm going to read exactly what our initiative is going to look like. This PricePledge initiative is a project designed to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in classical music instruction, beginning with middle school and continuing through college level. To further the purpose of PricePledge initiative, PriceFest, with the support of ICD, will partner with schools, universities, music organizations, and music publishers, and will support research to create, catalog, and archive the works of Florence Beatrice Price. PriceFest will help collect data regarding musical programming from its partner institutions, and will share this data with ICD for inclusion in its publicly accessible databases. And this is going to be a way to promote a sense of accountability between our educational partners, so we can really measure how they're changing their programming to center Black composers and composers from marginalized populations to approach equitable programming structures. PriceFest is also going to partner to provide some research assistance to help expand ICD's database so that there's more access to works by these composers, so that folks know where to go. PricePledge is also going to bring together a committee of skilled experts. We're starting with the piano repertoire to make graded piano repertoire lists. We're starting with piano, but we hope to expand. But we want to make graded repertoire lists to provide to our educational partners so that the teachers there can know where to look, to know where to start for various levels of instruction. So we're excited to go along in this endeavor because we think it's really going to change the game. I came up with this idea in response to a community feedback session at last year's PriceFest, where folks had said, we just want to see, well, there were multiple comments that came up in that meeting, but folks were saying they wanted to program more works by African-American composers. They wanted to decolonize their curriculum, but the resources were lacking, or they weren't feel like they had this support. So through providing these educational ambassadors to work with these educational partners, this is not only going to educate the educators, it's also going to provide some resources for the students so that there will no longer be the excuse that we don't know where to look. We hope that through this partnership, we will create a clearinghouse of resources so that folks who want to engage in this work and expand the canon can know where to look and have some support systems. So let me get out of the way and give the floor over to our representatives from ICD to tell us why they're excited about this partnership and what they hope to see from it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Syed Wells, and I am the Assistant Director and also Head of Development at the Institute for Composer Diversity. And we are so excited to be partnering with the PriceFest and to be part of the PricePledge initiative to help all of these schools, organizations do the work that they want to do better. And we are partnering with PriceFest as part of our initiative that was supported by the Sphinx organization and their Sphinx Venture Fund grant, of which we were the recipient for 2020. And the title of our project is the Institute for Composer Diversity Database expansion and community impact initiative. And so our initiative is twofold. The first part is that we will be focusing on expanding our database resources, which includes lists of works by composers, and then a database of the composers and their biographical information themselves, and with a focus on Latinx and Black composers. Of course, continuing to expand our database with composers who have been historically ignored, marginalized, and underrepresented within the classical music field. Our second initiative, which is how we are partnering with PriceFest, is to work with organizations all across the United States at this point to help them do their programming, as we like to say, better, but more diverse, with a focus, of course, on composers who are Black, Latinx, and in other underrepresented heritages. So those are the two parts of our project, and we are so grateful to the Sphinx organization for helping support our initiative. And if you are interested, I believe applications for the next round of Sphinx Venture Fund applications closes on September 30th. So, of course, reach out if you have any questions. I would be happy to help. But that is a little bit about our project and about our organization.
Thank
And
you.
I will just jump in and reiterate what Siad said. Can't thank PriceFest enough for this. This is a huge opportunity provided initially by the Sphinx organization, but then to be able to have two different organizations that are both moving in the same direction and both have very, very similar goals, to be able to make this partnership is really, really exciting.
Yes, thank you both for being here, and thank you for your willingness to partner. And I'm going to open up the floor. If anyone has questions that they want to put in the chat, either from our Facebook followers or from YouTube, we'll be glad to answer any questions. I did want to give you all an idea of sort of what's going to be the timeline of all this. Hopefully we'll be forming on the PriceFest and our committee to help collect and grade piano repertoire, and to also help us announce our first round of educational partners. We're hoping to complete that process through fall and by the end of 2021, and then hopefully starting to schedule our excursions by educational ambassadors early in spring 2022, early in fall and spring of 2022. So we're hoping that by 2022, we'll get this program off the ground. And so if you're looking to expand the offerings at your educational institution, or if you know applied teachers at a community studio, or if you're at a university and you want to get an educational ambassador work at the college level, we would love to hear from you. And I'm going to put our banner up here. If you want to keep up with us in our progress on this, you can visit pricefest.org and you can sign up for our newsletter. It'll pop up and you can sign up there. You can also follow us on Instagram at PriceFest for more updates on the PricePledge initiative. I will say, we've already heard from a couple of preliminary educational partners who are really interested in partnering with us. One of those was Baltimore Symphony Kids. We're looking forward to expanding and discussing that partnership. And we've also heard from a couple of universities that said, hey, we want to partner, we want to expand the way that we do things in our departments. And it is programming, right? They're going to be announcing to us and telling us how are they expanding their programming at the university level, but it's also going to be how are they changing their grading procedures? We're also going to be looking at how are jury procedures done? Are there requirements in the curriculum that cause students to be thinking about how they program in the future? I know for one, as an educator at the university level, one of the things I'm passionate about is empowering students to really create the future. I tell my music history class that you are the future of education. Most of them are education majors. And so one of the things I'm saying in my classroom is, what do you want programming to look like in 2030 and 2040? Because this is going to be your outlook. This is going to be your music industry, and we're going to be benefiting from it. So this is one of the various ways that I, as an educator and as an administrator, want to create space for these students, for the future of students, and for current educators to create that pathway. So yes, please follow us, and also go to Institute for Composer Diversity, go and keep up with their activities. If you're not aware of their fantastic database and you're looking to expand your programming to be beyond the white patriarchal canon that we were all taught, you should go look at Institute for Composer Diversity and expand what you're looking at. And I will open up the floor if there are any viewers with comments or questions. Okay, good. We have one comment. This is a friend of mine, Suna Abchi Gunter. I forgot where Suna is now, but I'd love to talk about the possibility of partnering as well. We love that, Suna. So make sure you go to pricefest.org, sign up on our newsletter, and we'll be collecting those. And we just ask for patience. I always tell people we're a small team, but we do get back to you. It might take us a little longer, but we will get back to you and we'll keep up with you. And let's see, I'm going to see any other comments or questions about this initiative. I know it's early. We might not have, I think we have 6 people watching, but we will be able to see the comments later. So I'll go back and look at them as well. Are there any additional comments or questions? I'm just going to be comfortable with silence for a second. All right. Great. Any additional comments from Siad? Pardon me for pronouncing your name incorrectly. Siad and Rob, are there any questions from or comments from either of you that I missed? Because it's possible I missed something. All right. Go ahead, Siad.
I was just going to say that we are always looking for organizations who are, wanting to expand their programming. So if you want to partner with us in this PricePledge initiative, please, reach out. And additionally, if you were ever using our database resources and you have feedback for us, positive or constructive, please do let us know, as we are always working to really make our resources as best as they possibly can be. So we have our emails, we have Facebook, Instagram, all of those things. So reach out to us anytime, anywhere, and we will definitely get back to you, as we are always working to, help make this a better resource for everyone.
Thank you, Siad. And I'll echo that for PriceFest. If there's ever any issue, I know we get a lot of calls and emails to our email inbox asking, where can I find these price scores? And actually, many of those works, correct me if I'm wrong, but many price works are cataloged in your database. We're looking to expand it, but you can also go to the Institute for Composer Diversity and look at their database and look at where you can find these things. This is another way for us to partner. There's no way that PriceFest can do the work of collecting prices more than 300 works by ourselves. So it's great to see someone else is doing the database side while we do the festival side, and we can make this, we can make some significant change. We can really work toward a new Black Renaissance when we can partner like this. And so that's the invitation of this festival, you all, everyone who's watching. The invitation is, how can we create Renaissance now? How can we create a rebirth in the face of racial uprising, in the face of pandemic, in the face of the various changes hitting our nation? How can we create a new Black Renaissance? How can we create a Renaissance in which what we define as the expression of American music is centered on Blackness or is centered on Latinx identity? How can we approach equity, and how can we approach a new way to reimagine the way we interact with music in 2021, moving into 2030? So that's the invitation of this festival. So I'm going to get ready to wrap up this broadcast because I'm very excited, but I also want to see some of the other festival activities today. Make sure you tune in and watch Amari Ford and Katie Brown of the Classically Black podcast at our next event. I think it's at 10. Head spinning. Watch that. They're going to be talking about their new string pedagogy curriculum that I think you're going to be really excited about. It kind of tees up with our educational discussion this morning. So if you're a string educator and you're looking for ways to center African-American music in the way that you teach, we would love, oh, look at that. We have a comment from Ann Edge. She's on staff with student orchestras, and she'd love to have access to these resources. We saw you a lot throughout the festival, and we appreciate you being here. And we'll make sure you follow us, get on the newsletter. We'll make sure that we can find a way to reach out and get you connected. But yeah, make sure if you're watching, if you're tuning in, check out some of the other sessions today and go to the PriceFest website and see what other videos are posted on there. There are some great things to watch, particularly the Lizette Project. Make sure you go there and watch that lovely documentary in advance of the talkback. And with that, I will say thank you all for tuning in. Look out for more news about PriceFest or PricePledge initiative. And thank you again to ICD for being here this morning. And I look forward to a really fruitful partnership. Thank you. Bye, everyone.